This is a good one. I don't have enough experience, or I don't know enough about that. Ooh,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like this one.
Well, that's learned too. Just Matt or Cindy, whoever's asking the question, I want you to just get your pen out after the show, and don't put it off. Most people are procrastinators. They put things, I'll do it tomorrow, and then you don't do it. Do it right away after the show. You might want to both sit down together and go, what did our parents tell us that would cause us to think that? You inherited that idea. In Think and Grow Rich, there's a chapter here. It's called Specialized Knowledge. Napoleon Hill talks about power. And if you want to earn a fortune, you do it through the accumulation of power. And power is intelligently directed and highly organized specialized knowledge. And there's a whole chapter on specialized knowledge. Henry Ford, he talks about Henry Ford. He was friends with Ford, and Ford had 50 people around him. Ford knew nothing about the building of cars or marketing cars, but he knew that he didn't need to know. He had no education, nothing, but he had a strong desire, and he just surrounded himself with people that had all the knowledge that he needed. If you have Think and Grow Rich, read the chapter in Specialized Knowledge where he talks about that. You don't need to know how to do it. Now, we were taught when we were young, if you got an idea, well, you better research that, Matt. You better go get some advice. Why don't you go ask some people for their opinion? And so we learned to do that. You also were taught not to make decisions, or you weren't taught how to make decisions. You were actually taught to procrastinate. And so what procrastination does is causes you to think. And the more you think, it creates doubt. And so this would be one of the things that you would say. You don't need to know how to do anything. There's people out there, like I don't know how to do what Tyson's doing. I'm not running the show. He's running the show. But I used to procrastinate because I didn't know how. I thought I had to know how. You don't have to know how. The how will all show up. Now, that might make sense to you. Again, it's back to understanding. That might make sense to you, but you really, truly got to believe it. And I didn't believe it at first. It made sense, Bob, going, Doug, don't worry about the how. Yeah, right, Bob. Yeah, don't worry about the how. And I'd think about the how. And I wouldn't tell him that, but he knew that's what I was doing. I don't worry about the how so much anymore. Sometimes I get stuck. My old ways come back up. But if you understand how the how actually shows up, and we teach you that, it's in Think and Grow Rich. Very few people discover it, but it's in there. In fact, it's mentioned in pretty much every chapter how the how actually shows up. You don't need to know how. So just perish that thought. Now that's, again, you got to accept that idea, and then you got to consent. Yeah, you know what? Screw that. I don't need to know the how. So that's why I go, nope, I don't need to know how. I don't have to know the how. I don't need to know how. I don't have to. The how will show up. The how will show up. The how will show up. And I discovered my mind's like a GPS, and it gives me directions as I go forward. And I don't have to worry about what the next turn is. The GPS will call it the next turn when I get there. That's how your mind works, and that's how the how shows up. One of the ways how the how shows up.
When I was taking Magic in Your Mind, when I was doing with you, Doug,
Yeah.
I remember one of the things Bob was talking about is it's not how, it's who. And I remember him saying, like, it's not how, it's who. It's how, it's now, it's who. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, so Tyson did a 6-week program called Magic in Your Mind. It's very, very powerful. It's very easy and consumable to go through. And I think you went through several times. And Mare, who we had the show, she's been through it a bunch of times. So yeah, just basically it explains these 6 mental faculties, these 6 mental muscles, these tools. And one of them, of course, is imagination. And so you have this magic in your mind, but you have to learn how to, it's not really magic, but it works like magic.
Definitely feels like magic when you know it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right?